You guys know what this is, right? Look in here, it's not even done yet. This is what Koreans call Dwaejibulgogi. You don't know what that is because you don't speak Hangul? Just join me on this episode of Rev Cooks. This isn't even done yet. Let me finish it up, show you how to do it, show you the finished product, and I'm telling you, this dish can really light up your night. Hey everyone, welcome to my kitchen for another episode of Rev Cooks. If you're new around here, listen, let me tell you what to do. Go hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the share button. Hit that notification bell. That way every time we drop a new video, you'll know what's going on. Anyway guys, tonight I'm making one of my favorite things on the planet. Sorry about the noise if you just heard that in the background. My dogs decided they were going to try to destroy my entire back glass door because apparently there's a squirrel on my deck just when I start shooting. But hey, that's what happens here on Rev Cooks. We're going to keep it going. Listen, I want to show you what I have tonight. I'm actually going to make one of my favorite things to eat, one of my guilty pleasures. Today I am making for you a spicy Korean pork bulgogi. A spicy Korean pork bulgogi. I first seen this recipe, actually something similar to this, from one of my favorite YouTube chefs, actually, named Songyong Gas. Give you a shout out for Asian at home. You guys want some great ideas. I've watched a lot of her videos, made of my own different things. I've watched people cook because that's one of the ways you learn to cook. That's why you're here. You're watching how I do it. I want to show you my rendition of a spicy pork bulgogi, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. Let me show you first what I have. I have about a 10 pound, because that's what they had at the store, bone-in pork shoulder. You know what that's for? That is for pulled pork sandwiches. But I don't want to roast a full 10-pound pulled pork sandwich. So I'm like, yes, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut off about 2 pounds of this for our recipe today. But before I do that, let me show you the ingredients you're going to need for this dish. What you're going to need is some Gochugaru, which is a Korean red pepper paste. I'm sorry, let you see that right there. Now this is Gochujang. Yeah, Gochujang, and this is Gochugaru. I'm sorry, had it wrong. So this is going to be a red pepper flake, and the other one is a red pepper paste. Also, we're going to have some mirin, soy sauce, fish sauce, some white sugar, plain black pepper. This right here is a Korean style plum sauce, and this I use in a lot of my bulgogis. This is amazing. You can find it in any of your Asian grocery stores, or you can go on Amazon. Maybe I'll look for one and put a link in the description below so you guys can find this, because this kind of stuff is amazing. You can also substitute like apple or apricot jam, but I wouldn't suggest to do that. Get the Korean stuff. It's the best. And also we have 1 onion. I have 2, because I'm a spicy person, I like stuff spicy. I got 2 hot red chilies here. I've got 3 green onions, or some people call scallions, and what I have here is 10 cloves of garlic. And let me show you how we are going to make the sauce for this, because what we need to do is we want to bring this sauce together and this soaking liquid together. We're going to leave it sit for about 5 minutes so everything can combine, and then we're going to add some stuff to it. This marinade we're going to make for this meat, really, I like to leave it all day. I would say at least 2 to 3 hours. If you only have 30 minutes, you only have 30 minutes. But for me, at least 3 hours. I typically do it really 4 to 6 hours. I leave it sit before, in the refrigerator obviously, before I cook it. So let me show you our sauce and where we'll begin with that in just a moment. All right, now for our sauce. We want to take, let's do, well, if I can get it open. Depends on how spicy you want this. This Gochugaru is definitely something that is, whew, you'll know when you open it, it's serious business. I'm going to do, I like stuff really hot, but I've learned how to tone it down a little bit for my family. So I'm going to use right around 3 tablespoons of Gochugaru. If you want it hotter, use more. To that, I'm going to add, let's say, 2 full tablespoons of sugar. This will help balance it a little bit. A little sweet to that. I want to use at least a full tablespoon. Get a little more, it's okay, of your Gochujang, which is a red pepper paste, which you'll see there. I'm going to add that, and I'm almost run out of it because I make this dish so often. Well, any chance I get to cook with this stuff I do, because I love a lot of the Korean flavors. And you know what, guys? Do not stop and think about yourself, which I didn't do. Don't do this in this order. I shouldn't have did it in this order, but it's okay. Because now I got this all over my stuff here. So also I'm going to use a tablespoon and a half. So this is a tablespoon, and then maybe about a half. Tablespoon and a half of fish sauce. We want to use a good 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Well, I can get it. 2 tablespoons of Mirin, which is like a Japanese sweetened sake or cooking wine. And then, one of the stars of the show, we want to use at least 3 tablespoons of this Korean plum extract, or this Korean plum sauce. Trust me. And I'm going a little bit over because I love this stuff. To this, we want to add about 10 cloves of garlic. I used a whole, actually I probably have 11 or so here because I used a whole head of garlic. We're going to give it a quick chop. Can't go wrong with garlic. Add that in. And we also want to do about half a teaspoon or so of some crushed black pepper. I'm heavy on spice, so I'm just telling you what you probably should be doing. I don't actually always measure everything. And then we're going to whisk this up. Give it a nice whisk to make sure everything is combining. You'll get that dark red color. And we're going to set this aside for about 5 to 10 minutes to let all these flavors combine and really mesh together really well. While we're doing that, while we have this set aside to use here in a little bit, let that get good and marry itself. We want to go now to preparing our pork. I've cut off about 2 pounds of the pork here. And you're going to slice it as thin as you like. Just slice it into thin slices. I have, like I said, I'm doing about 2 pounds today. And the reason I'm using this cut of pork is because it is fatty. And the fattier it is, kind of the better this recipe can be, in my opinion. But I do shave some of the fat off because, you know, we all have those folks in our family who are like, ew, there's fat in the meat and stuff like that. So be mindful of that. Make the adjustments as needed. I'm going to slice this meat up into thin pieces. And after that, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut up a whole white onion. Now, whenever you make a bulgogi, the whole onion is going to cook down. I'm going to show you later how I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this meat. Keep the right knife there, because don't want to have any cross-contamination with that. And we're going to take And we're gonna chop this onion. Before I peel that, just 1 second. Let me wash my hands. Quick wash. And we're basically gonna chop this onion up. I'm not gonna chop it fine. I'm actually gonna chop it into long strips. I wish someone would give me a secret for getting the skin off an onion instead of just dealing with it. I'm sure there's some kind of secret that one of you can share with me in the comments. You know, sometimes when you're really frustrated, you just take that first whole layer of the onion off. That way you don't have to deal with it, which is what I'm gonna do right now. So I don't have to sit here and peel the whole skin off of an onion while you're watching me. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna chop this onion up into some nice slices. And we are gonna add them with our meat to the marinade. So let me chop this onion up, cut this meat, and I'm gonna show you what we do with it in just a moment. Now I'm just giving this a nice little stir. It's been about 6 or 7 minutes. Letting this recombine real good, absorb that paste. What I like to do, again, I got about 2 pounds of this pork butt. I'm gonna add this in to our mixture. And then we are going to, and I didn't wear a glove for this, but I think well, never mind. We'll just go with it and then I'll wash my hands after.
Do you want gloves?
I don't need gloves. Okay. So what I wanna do is give this a nice mix, and remember I am mixing with some peppers and some other things, so probably should have used gloves, but hey, it's the Rev Cooks and we're working with what we got. So I like to combine my marinade into the meat first. That way I can guarantee that all of this meat has been covered in this marinade. After that, we want to take our full onion that I've actually cut up and sliced up. You can see I'm leaving it cut it to where it's more petals. Cut that up. We're going to throw this onion in. And like I said, we're going to transfer this covered to the refrigerator for between 30 minutes up to overnight. And I prefer the longer it sits, the more it absorbs the flavors. Ultimately, the better it tastes. We're going to combine this again. Make sure it's well incorporated. Normally, I don't do so much meat. So I'm used to using this dish for this. And I am pushing it right now. So just let the onions incorporate with the meat and the sauce. Cover this dish. Oh, did you see that? I just had a flying onion. Cover this dish, transfer it to your refrigerator, like I said, for a few hours, and I'm gonna show you how to cook it when it's ready. All right, everyone, you can see I pulled out our mixture of meat and onions from the fridge. Oh my gosh, it smells so amazing. What I want to do real quick is let's go ahead and heat up about 3 tablespoons of oil, and let's get your pan nice and hot. I'm using a big wok so I can get it all in there, but you don't have to use one of those. While that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up our scallions. I'd say cut it up, cut the ends off. You don't want to eat the ends. Maybe about 2-inch long pieces. And these are completely optional. I have some hot red peppers. You don't have to add these, or you can add actually a different pepper if you like. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice these kind of thin. I'm gonna do them at a little bit of an angle. And what we'll do, I am actually gonna leave the seeds in. You don't obviously, If you don't want that much heat, remove all of the seeds from your pepper. But this is spicy, and I want it hot. And since I'm the one that loves this dish the most in my household, I'm going to make it how I want. So I'm cutting these up. I'll probably scrape out some of the seeds because there are a lot, and I don't want everyone crying about how hot the food is. Now that we have this oil really going, got your heat really high, we're going to add all of this. We're going to cook this mixture, stirring it for about 10 minutes or so. After about 10 minutes of stirring, once it's cooked down, we're going to add these green onions and add this pepper, and we're going to finish the dish off. So let's go ahead and add this now. Oh, that's really, well, hold on. I've got it super duper hot, so we're going to go ahead and get everything in there. Little more liquid than I expected. And once that hits that oil, that's why you always have to be really careful, because anytime liquid hits that hot oil, it will jump on you. So what we want to do is just, stir it. Let's cook this down for about 10 minutes, like I said, till your pork is cooked all the way through and your onions have become cooked nice and very much caramelized. It will change the flavor of the onions. I know you think a whole onion is a lot, but really it's not. Not for a recipe like this, because they will cook all down. As you see, I'm working this. I'm going to let it work its magic, stirring occasionally, and I'll be back to check on this in about another 10 minutes. Well, actually, hold up guys, let me say it this way. I'll be back to you in 10 minutes. I'm going to be working this over that time. I'll see you when this is about done. All right guys, take a look at this. We've been going for a little over 10 minutes now. We're pretty much done. All that's left is to add the finishing touches. So I'm going to take all of my green onions, bam! All of my hot red peppers, bam! Mix those in. Let this go for maybe just about another minute or so, just to kind of incorporate those peppers, green onions into this dish. About a minute. Listen guys, this is a fiery dish, and one thing to remember about the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is that in the kingdom of God, He wants us to be a people that are on fire for Him. People that are not afraid or ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Kingdom people walk in a fire that comes from the governor of the kingdom, the Holy Spirit. So listen, I want to encourage each and every one of you. If you feel low on energy, if you feel like you've just been struggling, hey, spend some time in the presence of the governor. Allow the King of Kings and Lord of Lords to refire you. Because guess what? If you want to keep it kingdom, you need to make sure you're carrying the fire and the presence of the Holy Spirit. And guys, if you don't have it in the spirit, you eat some of this, you'll have it in the natural. Let me show you real quick, get the heat off on this because it's done. Show you how I played it real quick. Put this over some rice. Oh yeah. Just have some basic jasmine rice in here. I need to get a lot of those onions and peppers. My goodness, my goodness. If you want, you can right now, I like it like this, but you can add a little bit of sesame seeds, a little drizzle of sesame oil, so a little bit of soy sauce, whatever it is you want. And let's go. Listen guys, this here is some good stuff. I'm gonna do a quick sample. Where's my, I should have grabbed my chopsticks real quick.
Right there.
I see them. Guys. You have the heat. You have the sweet. It's perfectly balanced. If you've never ate bulgogi and you've never tried it, listen, I'll do a regular bulgogi recipe with beef, an easier one, but you like hot, spicy, and sweet all together, this is the dish for you. Guys, you can make it yourself. It's that easy. I promise you, it's something that if you're into this type of food, you'll be thanking me when you're eating it. Guys, you know the drill. If you're new, like and subscribe, share the vids. Until next time, it's TheREV and TheREV Cooks.